We've all been there. You get into your car, maybe you're rushing to work
Yeah.
or you're about to start a long road trip,
Mm-hmm.
and you slide into the driver's seat and just realize the whole environment is, well, it's chaotic.
Right.
Yeah.
The dashboard's hazy with dust, there are old coffee stains,
You can barely see out the back window because the glass is all smeared.
and that feeling of, that subtle distraction, that low-level stress, that's your car's interior actively working against your ability to focus.
Yeah.
It stops being just a vehicle. It starts becoming a home for allergens, for hazards, and germs.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to take a genuine deep dive into car interior maintenance. Now that sounds really basic, I know.
It does.
But trust us, the expert maintenance guides we've sourced, they reveal that a clean car isn't just about making it look nice. It's fundamentally about three things: safety, health, and preserving some serious financial value.
This is so much more than just aesthetics. We're going to unpack how a neglected interior directly impacts your driving safety. And, why those high-touch surfaces you use every day might be harboring more bacteria than you think. And crucially, we're going to give you simple, actionable schedules that protect your investment and, frankly, protect your lungs.
Okay, so let's start right there. The hidden costs. Because they are immediate and they are significant, we often just dismiss a messy car as an inconvenience.
Yeah, it's a bit messy.
Right, but the sources make it crystal clear. This is a safety issue first, not a cosmetic one.
It absolutely is. I mean, a clean interior creates a less stressful, more focused driving environment. But let's move beyond just the mental load and look at the actual physical hazards.
Okay.
Think about clutter. Loose items, water bottles, coins, charging cables, they are genuine risks.
Right.
During a sudden hard stop, these things become projectiles. And even worse, they can roll into the brake or accelerator pedals.
And jam them.
And potentially jam them at the most critical moment. It's a real danger.
That is a very real, measurable hazard. But I think the most universal safety failure is probably visibility.
Oh, for sure.
We're so meticulous about washing the outside of the car, but if the inside of the glass is ignored, it just negates all that effort.
Spot on. Dirt and smears on the inside of the windshield, the mirrors, even the instrument cluster. It causes severe light diffusion and glare.
Which is especially bad at night.
Exactly. It's so dangerous at night when oncoming headlights get turned into these dazzling streaks, or even during that harsh, low sunlight in the evening. The visibility reduction can be substantial.
And we also need to talk about the air system here, because dust buildup affects a lot more than just air quality.
It affects essential climate control. We're talking about the HVAC system, so heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Right.
If your vents are clogged with dust or the front glass is perpetually foggy, the defogging function is just dramatically reduced.
Which in cold or wet weather is a huge problem.
It's an immediate, dangerous visibility hazard. Cleaning those vents is a safety function, not just a cleaning task.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the ick factor, because this is where the health implications really come in. Our car is essentially this pressurized box where we trap everything we encounter. Allergens, pollution, pet dander, food.
It becomes an ideal microbial environment. I mean, neglected interiors are perfect breeding grounds. The moment you start the fan, you're circulating a concentrated blast of everything that's settled in there.
Dust, pollen, mold spores.
And dander. It all accumulates deep in the carpet fibers, the seat fabric, and especially in the air vents.
And for anyone with allergies or, passengers with respiratory issues, this can make a simple drive just miserable.
Precisely.
Oh.
And if we look at the high-touch surfaces, the information is, frankly, it's shocking.
Okay.
Several sourced studies compare bacteria counts, and the results are pretty sobering.
Yeah.
The steering wheel, the gear shifter, the door handles, those touch screens we're constantly swiping.
Yeah.
They can harbor bacteria levels that rival or even exceed what you find on surfaces in public facilities, and that includes public toilet seats.
Wow. That statistic always gets me. When you realize your hands are constantly transferring whatever is on those surfaces directly to your face, wiping down the console suddenly feels a lot less like a chore.
It becomes essential personal hygiene.
Yeah.
Exactly. It moves from aesthetics to, genuine preventative health maintenance. And we also have to address the long-term cost. We're talking about protecting a significant investment.
So how does cleanliness protect the physical structure and the value of the car over time?
The primary enemy is the sun. UV damage is relentless. On dashboards, on vinyl, on trim. UV exposure causes fading, and critically, it causes plasticizers to leach out.
And that leads to cracking.
It leads to cracking and brittleness, which degrades the look and the feel of the interior, and that severely harms the resale value.
I can see that. A buyer sees a cracked dashboard and immediately thinks repair costs.
Or they just walk away. And then there's the immediate damage, like forgotten spill. Spills, left unclean, become permanent stains, sure. But the hidden danger is moisture. If moisture gets trapped under the carpets or deep in the foam of the seats, you risk mold or mildew growth.
And once that sets in, that smell is almost impossible to get rid of.
Almost impossible without professional help, and it's a serious health risk. A well-maintained, clean interior can add hundreds, sometimes thousands, to the trade-in price. It just signals that the car was really cared for.
So if the hidden costs are safety hazards, illness, and devaluation, well, the incentive to clean is high. Which brings us to the next question. What's the effective response? What does a regular maintenance routine actually look like?
The expert sources give a fantastic framework. It's based on usage. It's about frequency, not just intensity. We can break it down into 4 manageable buckets.
Okay, let's start with the least time-intensive, but maybe the most important for safety, the weekly check-in.
This is pure hazard prevention. Weekly, you have to remove all the trash and loose clutter. This directly addresses the safety issue of, flying objects or things rolling near the pedals. It also prevents small spills from becoming big odor problems. Next, just a basic dusting of the dashboard and console with a microfiber cloth. And finally, the essential health step, wiping down those high-touch surfaces.
Steering wheel, door handles, gear selector.
And the infotainment screen. Use an appropriate interior wipe. This directly attacks the bacteria we just talked about.
So the weekly check-in is quick hits for safety and hygiene. What about biweekly tasks? I'm guessing this is where the vacuum comes out.
That's the threshold for the vacuum. Bi-weekly, you should vacuum the seats, floor mats, and carpet. Pay obsessive attention to the seams in the seats and under them where all the crumbs and debris hide.
And the second major task?
The second major task bi-weekly is cleaning the inside of the windows and mirrors.
Crucial for glare reduction. Do the sources recommend any special technique there?
They strongly do. Use a streak-free glass cleaner and a microfiber cloth. Wipe in a consistent pattern, like a circular motion, to ensure you get full coverage and minimize those streaks.
Which are the worst for causing glare when the sun hits them? Okay, great. Now for the monthly deep clean. This sounds like the workout session for the car.
It is. This is about addressing the materials themselves.
Yeah.
You need to deep clean the upholstery, whether it's fabric or leather. You have to take the floor mats out entirely.
Right.
Fabric mats can be shampooed, rubber mats need a good scrub with soap and water, and this is the perfect time for detailing. Use a small, soft brush, maybe an old toothbrush, to meticulously clean all those little crevices, vents, and buttons.
And finally, the seasonal or quarterly focus. This tackles the less frequent but high-impact stuff.
This is the full rejuvenation. Quarterly means a full carpet shampooing, conditioning surfaces with protectants against UV damage, and this is critical checking and replacing the cabin air filter.
And you might need to check that filter even more often if you live somewhere dusty.
Oh, absolutely. More frequently than every 3 months, for sure.
Now that we have the schedule, let's talk specifics.
Yeah.
Because cleaning isn't just about applying a product, it's about the method, especially with materials like leather, where the wrong approach can cause permanent damage.
That's a key point. Before you touch anything, the first step is always to clear out every personal item and piece of trash. A clear workspace lets you see what you're really dealing with.
Okay.
Then, gather your tools, good microfiber cloths, a vacuum with attachments, and material-specific cleaners.
Let's start with fabric seats. Stains are pretty much an inevitability. What's the fundamental strategy for stain removal?
With fabric, after a really thorough vacuuming of the seams, the core strategy for stains is pre-treatment and blotting. You must blot, never rub.
Why not rub? It seems so intuitive.
When you rub a stain, you just break up the particles and push them deeper into the fabric fibers, into the foam. You're basically making it permanent. Blotting lifts the material out.
That explains a lot of my past failures. So what do you blot with?
You can use a commercial cleaner or even a simple homemade mix of equal parts water and white vinegar. But when you're applying any cleaner, the rule is vital. Do not oversaturate the fabric.
Right, because if you soak the foam underneath...
It can take days to dry, and as we said, that trapped moisture leads straight to mold and that musty odor. So gently scrub the treated area with a soft brush, wipe it with a clean, damp cloth, and then make sure it dries completely.
Now for leather. Leather is durable, but when it starts cracking and drying out, it's heartbreaking.
Leather requires a dedicated two-step system. Cleaning and conditioning. You have to use products specifically made for automotive leather.
So first, the cleaner.
First, apply the cleaner and gently wipe or scrub away all the surface dirt. This removes the grime and oil buildup that can damage the finish.
And the second step is the protector.
The second step is the crucial preservative, the conditioner. Cleaner removes the dirt. Conditioner replaces the essential moisture and oils that the leather loses over time.
Especially from heat and sun exposure.
Exactly. If you skip the conditioner, the leather will dry out, lose its suppleness, and the cracking and fading will accelerate. Apply it liberally, then buff off the excess.
And going back to the UV damage, what's the #1 defense for leather seats?
It's simple protection. Use sunshades. Park in the shade when you can. That constant, direct UV exposure is the primary culprit in breaking down the leather's fibers. It's an easy habit that saves hundreds in potential costs.
Okay, let's move to the dashboard and vinyl. This seems straightforward, but there are some specific rules here to keep things clean and, again, safe.
Yes. Start by dusting first with a microfiber cloth. Use compressed air or a detailing brush to get into the air vents and all those tight button crevices. Then, when you use a cleaner on the dashboard, here's the golden rule. Always spray the cleaner onto the cloth, never directly onto the dashboard.
Why is that? Why not spray directly?
2 reasons. First, it prevents oversaturation and cleaner dripping into sensitive electronics or speakers. And second, it prevents overspray onto the windshield, which is so hard to remove and causes immediate glare.
And let's bring back that crucial safety point about protectants for the dash. If we're using one for UV protection, we have to choose the finish carefully.
Absolutely. We recommend protectants that leave a matte finish. This is non-negotiable for safety. A shiny, high-gloss product reflects sunlight straight up and onto the windshield,
Creating a blinding glare.
a really serious driving hazard. Always choose matte. Protect your dash without compromising your visibility.
Let's transition now to the invisible element, the air quality and odors. This is where long-term health and system performance really come into play. Why does maintaining the air system matter so much?
Because of the cabin air filter. This gets confused with the engine air filter, but the cabin filter cleans the air that you breathe inside the car.
Right.
That filter gets clogged, and remember, it catches dust, pollen, smog. It forces the blower motor to work so much harder just to pull air through it.
So we're taxing the car, using more energy, and getting worse airflow. It's a lose-lose.
Precisely. Reduced airflow means your AC or your heat is less effective, and it strains the entire HVAC system. The source material recommends replacing the cabin air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, or at least once a year.
Good to know.
And the vents themselves should be thoroughly cleaned every month or two to prevent that visible dust buildup.
Let's tackle the inevitable odor problem. If you've deep cleaned and the air still smells stale, just masking it with a spray isn't going to work. We need to address the source.
Stale odors are usually a clear sign of trapped moisture, which means mold or mildew. That is why shampooing carpets and upholstery is so key. It penetrates and removes the odor source that's bonded with the fibers.
Well, you have to make sure it dries completely afterwards.
Completely. Use fans or heat if you have to.
But there are some great low-cost, natural methods we can use to help absorb odors after that initial cleaning, right?
Definitely. Before you reach for chemical eliminators, you can use natural absorbents. The most effective is baking soda. Just sprinkle it liberally on the seats and carpets, let it sit for a few hours or overnight, and then vacuum it up thoroughly.
And what about some of the others the sources mentioned?
Untreated, natural charcoal briquettes, not the kind with lighter fluid, or even a bowl of dry coffee grounds left in the car overnight, can absorb smells really well.
A bowl of white vinegar too, right?
Yeah, a bowl of white vinegar left overnight can neutralize a lot of odors, though you might smell vinegar for a little while after.
But if you've done all of this, the deep cleaning, the natural absorbers, you've replaced the filter, and the odor is still there, what does that usually mean?
The root cause is likely deeper inside the HVAC system itself, probably in the evaporator core, which can get damp and become a perfect habitat for mildew. At that point, the system needs a specialized professional cleaning.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive looking at maintenance, and we've really uncovered this direct, undeniable link between a clean interior and immediate safety, long-term health, and lasting value.
The core takeaway is simple. Proactive, routine maintenance is a low-effort, high-impact investment. We're talking about small, weekly steps, vacuuming, dusting, wiping down surfaces that dramatically reduce all the risks we discussed.
A tidy interior really fosters a focused driving environment.
It minimizes distractions, physical and visual, and it protects the integrity of your vehicle's materials.
So when you commit to a cleaning schedule, you're not just making your car presentable, you are actively contributing to a safer journey every single time you drive.
That's the true value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that a clean interior can add significant value to your car's resale price, sure. But if you consider the health benefits, less dust, fewer allergens, cleaner air being circulated into your lungs, the ultimate worth of this routine cleaning might not be measured in dollars at all.
Right.
The true metric is the impact it has on the physical health and focus of you and your passengers. That commitment to a clean interior is a commitment to a healthier you. That's something worth exploring further.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.